What's up, guys? Welcome into another episode of Jamming with Jay Money. We back. It's Monday, off a little day off, man. Had some little technical difficulties, man. My internet shit tripping over here. I'm having to switch up laptops, but we still here, man. Gonna try to get to some money today. What's up, Junior? What's up, Jordan? How you guys doing, man? How was your weekend, Jordan?
Hey guys, nice to be back with you here on a nice card on a Monday as always. I was just talking with Junior off the show. Yesterday was kind of defined by me the plays I didn't take more than the ones that I did. I ended up capping pretty much the entire slate and had the intention of putting in some plays, and I found a couple plays that I liked, but just didn't like them enough. And sure enough, I should have went ahead and bet them with Chicago with the points, even though they kind of took me for a little ride yesterday. If I would have bet on them, and then OKC, I was definitely leaning towards them, and that was the one I'm a little sour about. That I was because I was going to put a little money line action on them as well as our guy Jay would say, a little sprinkle. But yeah, nothing yesterday. Had one play that I missed in the Houston game in Phoenix on Saturday, first half over, and that one barely missed. So light weekend for me. Should have taken that OKC action. That would have put me ahead of the weekend. But I'm ready to attack this Monday here. What about you, Junior?
Yeah, slow weekend for me too. I went 4-5 on the weekend. Dallas ruined my Sunday. I had a horrible Sunday. I just had a bad week overall, probably my worst one of the season. Only -4 units, but you never want to finish a week without making money, right? So trying to get back on it today. Some good games last night. Tyler Hero hit a big shot in that Heat Bulls game. The Kings, Bielitsa went crazy yesterday, had like 30 points. But the Mavs, like they cut that 20-point lead down to 2, and Luka missed that shot. I was shocked that he missed that, but the Kings held on. Some good games yesterday. I'll let Jay get into it because he usually leads us off with all of that. So what'd you think about last night, Jay?
Yeah, well, some good games last night. Just quick things to say about Saturday. I know the Pelicans got blown out the fucking water by 46 to the Mavericks. There, that was pretty tough. And I was on the Cavs, man. I was on the Cavs on Saturday. I will not be on them in the near future. I can definitely tell you that, man. They got their ass handed to them. They lost by 47. That was absolutely terrible there. And I can't stand the 76ers, man. They pick their days where they want to come and play. You lost to the Wizards with pretty much no bigs. Without Isaiah Thomas, you lose by what 7 8 points, and then you blow the shit out of them. You beat the Raptors. You know what I'm saying? So some of these teams just pick which days they want to come to play. The Knicks were definitely the play though on Saturday. I told you guys, new coach Angle. However you wanted to look at it, man, the Knicks were the play. It was back to back tough spot for the Pacers. The Pacers still ended up getting the dub there, but we saw that it was a pretty tough spot for them there. Got the cash with the Knicks there. The underhit on that Rockets game, I told you guys about that one as well. The Rockets, they end up just sleepwalking through that game, barely getting the win. Suns covered there. And whoever that was in the chat, man, I was saying the Jazz under that game flew over the total. So there was, I think his name was John Ross or something like that. So kudos to you, man. And I told you guys that the Jazz, hey, it could have been a spot for them. They end up getting the job done there. Yesterday was pretty crazy. You had the Nuggets versus the Nets. Dinwiddie obviously hitting that big shot there late. Didn't even you ran right past KD. You ain't my partner yet. I ain't even played no games with you, bro. Get on the floor before I high five you. Nah, he probably just didn't see him or something. Man. The Hawks went over there and smacked up the Hornets. I actually thought they could have possibly been a spot for the Hornets to win at the house, but we know they're not very good, and they showed it last night. Let's see like I say, the Raptors, they came back and made it respectable, but I mean, they that was a good game played by the 76ers there. Let's see, and the Heat, yeah, you're right, Junior. That was a pretty crazy game there. Even when it went to overtime, I thought that the Bulls played a damn good game there down in Miami. And I thought they was finna lose. I thought the Heat was finna lose that game, but like you say, Hero hit some big threes late in that game. The Clippers handled up versus the Wizards, struggled there in that first half, only led by one at halftime, and then obviously blew the shit out of them in the second half. Did what they were supposed to do. The Kings beat my Mavs outright. That was pretty crazy. I was watching that game. Luca, I mean, it's one of them games. Hey, if the Rockets want to petition the game, we can too, man. He got fouled there late, but hey, it is what it is. The Kings ended up winning that one. OKC get their revenge. They played like I thought they would the first time in Portland. They got low. They lost by 19. This game went under, and OKC like I thought the first game went. I'm like you guys, man. I missed out on that one as well. And the Lakers blew the shit out the Timberwolves last night. Timberwolves up by 3, 65-62 at some point in the third quarter, and then the Lakers just went off. AD went for 50. So that's total recap of this weekend, man. Anything that goes up on that, Junior, or what I said?
No, I was just disappointed that the Mavs lost. I seen that Pelican game where the Mavs have been smacking teams around lately, and I really got to stop doing that. It's just a bad habit where you just, instead of capping the game properly, you just get, you're biased because of it's like recency bias. I watched them destroy the Pelicans, but if you look at the Pelicans, they're just not a good team, and they're just not playing well for like a while. Like in the beginning of the season, they were running and gunning, hitting a lot of threes, getting a lot of different guys to contribute. That's not going on right now. So I should have just looked at the back-to-back situation, the fact that the Mavs now are about to be off until Thursday because they're about to go to Mexico City for their next game. I should have just stayed away from that game. I went first half, full game, put them on a parlay. I just went crazy. So definitely trying to like get more focus and just cap these games properly for what they are and not look too much at what I just saw, and let that affect my judgment.
Exactly. Anything to follow it up, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean that Chicago Miami game was kind of, I think, probably the tipping point for a lot of people yesterday in those parlays, man. So that's just kind of a tough loss. You got to just kind of chalk that up. I think that if you got them, if you got that Miami line earlier, you were obviously looking pretty good depending on where you got it. But it just is one of those games where I think the sharps and the public were all on the same side, and it didn't end up hitting, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen occasionally in this season, especially as we get later in the year when the legs are getting a little more tired, teams are starting to lose a little more, start to think about tanking. A lot of things are going to come into play here. And last night, I think what we saw is just Chicago. They looked like the better team pretty much from the start. They kind of faltered, and then they kind of closed. They ended up losing. But I mean, like I said, they did come back and get in that backdoor cover. So listen, it was in overtime. Obviously, they barely got it. But it's just one of those games. I think you got to chalk it up to sometimes you can really believe in a play, and then it's not going to hit, and you just got to move on to the next day.
Yeah, and I don't want to harp too much yesterday, but I was looking. I don't really like to bet on Sundays. I'll kind of just take it back or whatever. I might make some plays, but I don't really share them. Obviously, we don't do a show. I'll be honest with you guys. I took the Kings a small play yesterday. I knew that they were going to be a play plus the points. I knew it was somewhat a vulnerable spot for the Mavs. I just didn't think they would lose the game straight up. And I stayed away from the Heat, man. I knew that they looked good in theory, but I mean, even the Bulls been underachieving. The Heat been kind of bullshit. I knew they would kind of come out sleepy there. And I'll tell you, I think that the Bulls were the right side. Like I say, I wouldn't have been a bit surprised to see the Bulls win that game outright. I feel like they deserve to win that game in regulation. So I think that the Bulls were just the right side. They came to play in that game, and the Heat didn't. So that's really the only thing I had to say. And yeah, that under, or for the over for that Philly game. I don't know how that shit went over. It was a 213.5. Got steamed up from 210.5. Like I say, not to harp too much on yesterday, but that was pretty crazy how that one ended up going over. Let's go ahead and get into today's, man. I'm not gonna get on it too much. I got shit written down about everything, but first, talk about this Raptors games first. I'm pretty sure Junior gonna have something to say about that. Just what I got on the Raptors. They have lost 3 straight. They got the Clippers on deck. It's gonna be a tough spot there. I'm not saying they're gonna lose, but you don't want to go into that game losing 4 straight. Is Van Fleet gonna play? I mean, he's questionable right now. Probably might be leaning towards not playing. The under is 5-1 last 6 Monday games for the Raptors. They won 10 straight games versus the Bulls here. I can't look towards the Bulls. They played a damn good game yesterday. Back-to-back OT coming from Miami. Their under is hit 20 out of 23 times in the first quarter under for the Bulls. I was leaning towards the under in this spot as well. Under is 5-1 in Bulls' last 6 home games. I had to be looking towards the under in this game. I had to be looking towards that first quarter under as well. And I'm leaning towards the Raptors. I mean, got all the way down to 4.5, up to 5.5 now. I'm not taking them without Van Fleet though. Any looks on this game, Junior?
Yeah, you said it. I'm not taking the Raptors without Van Vliet. I'm not laying points with a team that's not playing well. I know I don't really respect the Bulls, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to let that affect the fact that I can see that Toronto's not playing well right now. Since Kyle Lowry came back, and it's not Kyle Lowry's fault. He's just missing a lot of shots, but I just feel like him and Ibaka kind of just threw off the chemistry. When those guys went hurt, they went 10-2. And, if you know the Raptors play, even though Van Vliet and Lowry play the same amount of minutes, Van Vliet has to now share his touches with Lowry. Lowry's taking more shots per game than him and not really making them. And even worse is that Lowry's actually a good defender. He's led the league in charges a couple different times. His defense has been horrible. So until I see them play better, and the Raptors' next game is a big game, right? Kawhi's coming back. He's probably not going to play tonight, so he's definitely playing in that game. He's going to get his ring. It's going to be an emotional night. So the Raptors have some big games coming up. They can't lose 5 games in a row, so they better win this game. I just don't feel like laying points with a team that's just not playing well right now.
Exactly. And just a quick thing. I mean, the Raptors are a much better team. I can't take the. I know some people lobbying to take the Bulls. Their spot was yesterday. This ain't the spot for them, man. Like I said, I mean, they can't beat the Raptors. They can't get over that hump. It seemed like a get right game, but the Van Fleet that throws a whole nother wrench into it. What you got on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I think like initial like thoughts on this game, that you come to is like, oh, if Van Vliet doesn't play, I'm definitely taking the points with the Bulls at home. But I just don't see that being a very much grounded in logic. Norman Powell would jump back in the starting lineup. He's still a very good player, not the level of offense that Van Vliet's going to give you on a night-to-night basis, but his defense is probably just as good, if not better, and that's going to really hurt this Bulls team. And speaking of defense, who in the hell is going to stop Pascal Siakam tonight from the Bulls? They're missing two of their best wing defenders in Otto Porter and Chandler Hutchison still. They're going to be somebody's undersized is going to be guarding Siakam tonight, or it's going to be Markkanen, and that's going to be an absolute disaster. So, there's very little that I think could lean me towards the Bulls, even if Van Vliet's out. I just don't think it's a big enough injury to really trust the Bulls, even with both teams playing like yesterday. It's just a game that I'd say especially with both teams coming off back to back. I'd just rather say just let it go and let the chips fall where they may, and look at these other 8 games.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I hadn't made the play on that game. Like I say, I'm liking the under. I'm liking the first quarter unders. Them definitely been hitting for the Bulls. If I had to play a side, I don't have to play a side, so I'm staying away. But I think the Raptors will win, so bounce back spot. But I do think that Van Fleet out. It's a pretty big deal, especially with Lowry not looking good right now. They need him. You had to forget before Lowry came back, Van Fleet was balling, and they may be looking right now, maybe looking better than they was, you know what I'm saying, before Lowry got here. So I'm just saying that's the reason why. And I kind of told you guys that the Raptors could be due for a little bit of regression here, especially when Larry came back. What's happening? They lost 3 straight games. So I'm staying off of it, man. Definitely toward the under. Let's get to some shit that I know Jordan gonna like. This Pacers and Clippers game, man. Like my guy Junior said, I guess it's been all the way announced that, man. I've been dealing with these fucking laptops and shit all morning. I'm pretty sure that Leonard's not gonna play. I mean, you see the line moving from what they opened at 2.5, was down to 1. I mean, I'm pretty sure it came out. I hadn't been up to date on all my shit. I obviously researched everything this morning, but Leonard, Raptors on deck. Come on, man. Leonard finna rest tonight. It's a good spot for the Pacers. They come back to the house off of a little road trip, but they 6-1 ATS last 7 at the house off a road trip or 7 plus days. They're 4-1 ATS last 5 Monday games, 9-2 at the house. This is gonna be a damn good matchup for the Pacers, for the Clippers here. I'm liking the Pacers here, man. I can't say I put a little small play on them, man. +1. It's up to -2. I just had a feeling that it was gonna move. It's not a guaranteed spot for the Pacers. Clippers still could get this game, but without Leonard in this spot, with Sabonis and Turner down there to bang and have some rim protection, I like the Pacers at the house here, man, to get this Clippers this loss. I think it's a huge look ahead spot for the Clippers here. What you got to say about that, Jordan?
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard has been ruled out. That was about 15 minutes ago that you missed that, and as has JaMychal Green, Landry Shamet, and Roddy McGruder. So the Clippers are very banged up heading into this one on the back-to-back now. Indiana's getting a little steam here too. I'm looking at here. I think they could potentially be favorites here by the time the end of of this game time, or even bigger favorites. Excuse me. I mean, I'm not going to talk you off the Pacers. Absolutely not. This is just an emotional game for them. Every time Paul George comes back, it was the same way last year. This is a guy who basically said, "I don't want to play with you guys anymore. This city, this organization is not good enough. Send me somewhere else." And that's not something that's easily forgotten. And so I do think the Pacers will have a little bit of an emotional edge in this game, especially with the Clippers coming off the back-to-back and a big game upcoming. This is a little bit of a trap spot for them without their best player. That being said, Paul George is going to have all the shots tonight that he can handle, and he is going to be motivated just as much, I think, as the Pacers are to come in here and play a really good game. So I think for me, it's just really tough to make a play on this game. I wanted to jump on the over. It's up a point right by now. That would be my lean, I think, if I had to make a play on this game at all. But that being said, the Clippers defense has still shown that it's very, very good, even with missing some of these key guys that they're going to be missing tonight, starting with Kawhi. The Pacers have also proven that they can stop teams very, very much and much better of it at home than they are on the road. So probably a game I'm just going to end up laying off. I actually might end up going to it. So if I do that, I might make a small play, or might end up just playing it live and see where it goes. But haven't made up my mind about that just yet either. It really depends on where these tickets go tonight. So I'd lean towards the over, but probably going to be a stay
Yeah, and Brogdon is in this game as well. I mean, obviously, if it was no Brogdon,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be looking towards the Pacers. I mean, I got a heavy lean towards the under. I mean, you look at the way,
really.
obviously it's a back-to-back spot for the Clippers. You look the way they played yesterday versus the Wizards, man. Obviously, and it was an up and down game, but you let the Wizards hang in there. I mean, that should have been a wire-to-wire win for them. And you could look at the box score and say the Clippers blew them out. That wasn't really the case, bro. Wizards on their ass there in this second quarter. I mean, if you had the first half Clippers, you should be pissed because I mean they just came out bullshit, and then the second half they decided they want to turn it on. It's a tough little back-to-back spot. The game before that obviously got blown out versus the Bucks. Game before that on the road obviously got they lost to the Spurs. So the Clippers are one of those teams where they've been a little bit vulnerable on the road here. They without Kawhi Leonard. We'll see. We know PG gonna get all his shots, but I just think, hey, Pacers full squad here, man, getting Brogdon back. We'll see. I like the Pacers here, though. What you thinking, Junior?
Yeah, it's a stay away from me too. Couple of different reasons. The Pacers have just been playing a little bit better of late. All these guys that are out for the Clippers, we've seen a couple of different cases where like when the Clippers don't have all their guys, their offense for some reason can just like bottom out. Um, I don't like the Paul George angle going back into a hostile environment, even though he might personally go off. Anytime the home crowd is just ramped up, I'm not trying to. No, this game is just I don't see any angle or any advantage for either team personally because if the Clippers won, would you be shocked? No. If the Pacers won, would you be shocked? Absolutely not. I was kind of leaning towards the over, like Jordan had mentioned, but there's just too many guys that are out now where the Clippers, one of the advantages that they have is that their bench is usually better than every other bench. Now a lot of these bench guys are going to be playing in the starting lineup or just playing, more minutes than they normally would. So I'm going to stay away from this. I don't see any angle in this game.
Exactly. Well, I mean, like I say, man, the few angles that I do see, obviously, even with Kawhi being what's called, I just see it as a look kiss where you got the Raptors on deck. Some would say that it's not going to be a huge emotional thing, but even for Kawhi Leonard, who's not a huge emotional guy. I still think so. I mean, you're getting your ring. You just won the championship there. I don't give a damn. Even he gonna still be the most, even though he might not show it, man. And the Clippers, they are 4-6 on the road last 10 and 3-7 ATS. So I mean, they had, like I said, they hadn't been playing well on the road. The under is 7-1 last 8 for the Clippers after an ATS win. So we'll see here. And I definitely think Kawhi being out helps out for the under as well. But like I said, I'm leaning towards under, and I did take the Pacers plus the 1. Let's get to the next game, man. Let's talk about y'all have a play on the Rockets game. We can talk about Rockets game or the Pelicans game. Jordan or Junior, if you guys want to got to play in one of those.
I actually got thoughts on both those, so whichever one y'all want to start off with on either one of those are fine with me. Junior and I, while you were having your connection issues before the show started, we're talking about Sacramento and Houston, so if you want to kick it off there, that's fine with me.
Well, shit, let's talk about the Rockets then. Y'all know I'm down. I'm in Texas anyway, baby. Ain't nothing. Hey, Rockets 9-2 at the house. Kings could be in for a huge letdown spot, man. They come out for a damn good game where they pretty much played perfect last night versus the Mavs. Really, I mean, could have went in overtime with that late foul, but you had to give it to the Kings. The way they played the game, they got stops defensively, rebounded the ball well. They deserve. You got to give them credit. They deserve their win. I was watching a game, live here in Dallas. I obviously wanted the Mavericks to win. I knew the Kings was gonna cash that +9 ticket, but it's a tough back-to-back spot for them, man. They're top heavy, like you say. One guy got hot last night. That's not gonna happen again tonight. Buddy Hield, one of their best players. You shut him down. I don't even know how to say the dude's name all the way, Junior. That's why I say, hey, we're gonna call him B. It's like Belisi or some shit like that. When it's B and then a J, I'm not even trying
it's
to
Bielitsa, bro.
Bielitsa, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not even trying that shit. But the Kings, third game in 4 nights, I think it's a tough spot for them. I don't even want to lay these points with the Rockets. You see them last game. I just come out, we get the win. We barely win versus Suns. What, Devin Booker went off for 37 on them. It's a bunch of points. The Rockets should kill them boys in theory. I think they are, but and I just think it's a tough spot for the Kings, man. Third game in 4 nights on the road. I mean, obviously, it's the Texas road trip, but still, man, it's a tough spot. If the Rockets, they're hitting their shots, they get it going tonight, and they want to play some defense, lock up Buddy Hield. Hey, it's gonna be a long night for the Kings, man, because lately they've been trying to slow it down, play defensive game. The Rockets, I don't think they can out. I don't think they can keep up pace with the Rockets tonight. Harden his threes, he getting his foul calls, and Russell Westbrook driving through the hole, kicking it out to Tucker, House, McLemore. I think this is a Rocket spot, and I think that's why you're seeing it go up from 11.5 to 12.5. Man, I like the Rockets here. What you liking, Junior?
Yeah, I got what's one of my official plays. I got the Rockets -7 first half. It's a lot of points to lay in the half, but if you look at the Rockets' advanced numbers in the last 5 games, their offensive rating in the first half is 122 points per 100 possessions, which is crazy. Playing against a team that just played last night, and the thing is, their defense is really good too. They're only giving up 101 points per 100 possessions in the first half in the last 5. So I just like that spot against a team that just played last night. And they were up 20 points, and they should have been cruising to victory. But, Jay, I'm sure you saw that game. The Kings had to fight until the very end of a game that they should have been cruising to victory. And I think
Yeah, well, I
you
mean,
freeze.
we knew that. I he's right. They were about 20, and I mean, they just had to play some defense there. I mean, so look, this is what I have to say. The Mavs, you know, they was gonna make a run at the house. They won what 10 straight games. I mean, they've been absolutely baller. I know they had covered. I know they had covered 10 out of 11 games for sure. Because I was telling somebody, hey, the Mavs been covering the shit out these spreads. But yeah, they was on a nice little win streak. I mean, you knew that they was gonna make their run. The Kings didn't have, but the fact they got up by 20 obviously shows a lot. And like you said, they had to expend a lot of energy to close that game out. They had to play some defense, get a few shots, but their offense can be really stagnant at times. Like I say, I mean, it makes me want to lean towards the under here. I think that the Kings team total under is definitely a look. I think the full game total is under is a look as well. But I just think that the Rockets could come up here and possibly put up. I mean, if they haven't won their games, they know it could be one of them. Man, teams been getting bust by 40 lately, man, with ease. It could be possibly one of them games. That's what makes me want to stay away from the under. The Rockets go out there and put up 130, but will the Kings get to 100? It's gonna be tough for them. What was your thoughts on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing more than leaning towards the under. I might actually take the under at 227, and then in the first half at 116.5. We've seen this Rockets team play pretty good defense, and you're right. Like in a perfect scenario for them, they're going to limit the Kings as much as possible here, early as possible, with them coming off the back-to-back and that third game in 4 nights, and then just absolutely just steamroll them offensively with three-pointers. If everything's going their way, yeah, they're going to blow out this team. But Junior and I were talking about for the show. I think 12.5, even in this circumstance, is way too many points for the full game. I wouldn't touch the full game. If you're really into the Rockets in this one, I would definitely lean towards the first half, so like Junior was talking about, simply because they've been way better offensively in that category, both recently and all season. Their defense has been better in the first half, usually in these certain instances where they're coming up or playing a team that's markedly worse than them and tired. So that they have that going for them. But I think the unders are actually a pretty good play here, even better than Houston in the first half, because I just don't see Houston just coming out with that kind of effort. We've seen this team from time and time again either have letdown spots in certain instances, and I don't think it's going to be their defense that lets down, and I think it'll be their offense, because the Kings are kind of pesky. They could do some things to really hurt the Rockets, especially in the first half. I think I'm definitely leaning towards the first half under more than the full game at 116 and a hook. But if the final point on this is, if the Kings come out and just make Houston play their style of game, you know they're not going to want to run up and down here on this back-to-back. They're going to want to play as slow as possible. They're going to want to grind this game to a halt. They're not going to want to let Russell Westbrook. I feel like I'm a broken record every time we get in these spots with the Rockets, but I think I've tended to be right most of the time. And if they are successful in slowing them down, this is an absolutely great underplay. I don't know if they're going to be successful in it, but if they are, I think it's a great spot for the under, just because I think it's way too many points for that certain game script to play out.
Exactly, and if the Kings could go under with the Mavs, they can go under with the Rockets. Rockets play more defense than the Mavs. And another thing, I knew that DeLon Wright was out for the Mavs as well yesterday. It was a little key piece. Not saying it's why they lost, but I just knew it was going to be a close game, man. Let's get to the Pelicans game, man. We don't have a whole lot of time, and I got some more shit I got to say. So let's get to this game, man. Pelicans game. First look, I'm like, damn, man, I gotta take the Pistons here, man. I gotta take the Pistons. The Pelicans are an absolute no bet team. I can't take I mean, shit, they boys getting lost 8 straight. They getting killed, lost by 46 to the Mavs, a game where they just quit, and you never want to see that. And that's what had me thinking, like, damn, man, I want to. There's no way in hell I could bet on this team in the near future. And I see the line, I'm like, why the hell they open up at -1? Obviously you look at it deeper, you look at the quotes, all this, and I'm like, I mean, and I don't think Gentry should be there. I think they should get rid of him and get another coach. But and maybe we see this. Like, are the Pelicans, are they trying to get there? We see sometimes players like, fuck it, we just gonna go ahead, he get fired, then we'll start playing. I don't know, man. It's tough. I'm not betting on the Pistons here, though. I can't tell you that, though. They're 1-6-1 ATS last 8 after a win. They're 2-8-1 ATS on the road, 2-9 straight up on the road, 1-5 ATS last 6 road games versus a team with a losing home record. That don't make no damn sense. It's a huge bounce back spot for the Pelicans as well off 46-point loss. Usually, you would say it's the team gonna come to play here. You would have to hold. So look, if you betting on the Pelicans here, you definitely saying, all right, look, they at least somewhat care about their own pride, self-pride, or the whole New Orleans culture, or I mean, hopefully they don't want to get their coach fired and they just don't care about him, because then it transcends to the court. But I'm kind of liking the Pelicans here, man. I hadn't bet it, but it is a huge bounce back spot. Anything to say about that, Junior?
No, I'll keep it real quick. This game is terrible. I wouldn't put money on this game no matter what. I think there's 2 teams in the NBA that have quit on their coach. I think that New Orleans guys are done with Gentry, and I think that the Cavaliers players are done with Bayline. Once the players are not playing for the coach anymore, there's no way that I'm putting money on a game involving teams like that. And as for the Pistons, they definitely haven't quit on their coach, but they just can't get it together. Like, they're just the most inconsistent team right now, because when they look good, I mean, they look real good because they got a lot of quality players on their team, but they could just lose to anybody. And I just, you know what I mean? I can't invest in this game.
It's tough, man. And we're not forced to bet on the games. We're not. But if I was forced to bet on it, I would be on the Pelicans, man. But I feel you there, Junior. I feel you there deeply. That's why I hadn't betted. I can see it closing at Pelicans -2. I can see the Pelicans bounce back, even
By the way,
not caring
Jay,
about their coach. I can see it.
I will give you this, because you were saying you're thinking Pistons. Who's stopping Blake Griffin or Andre Drummond though on the Pelicans? Like,
and they might get Favors back tonight. He's from what I'm seeing, he's probable to play tonight, and it's not anything huge. But I mean, so look, I'll tell you this, and we're having a little argument on this game. The Pelicans can score. We know they can score. They don't play defense. The players saying they're gonna come to play defense this game. Is what they're saying, that they're tired of fucking losing. No matter coach, whether they're tired of losing, that's what they said. They still got good quality players over there. Holiday, Ingram, JJ Redick got quality. I mean, even Ball come back, hadn't looked too good since come back, but it could be a spot for him. And this is one where the stats don't necessarily say what I think. Well, and even the stats aren't good for the Pistons. Look well lately, at the house, not necessarily on the road versus the Cavs. Other than that, but still getting smacked on the road. We'll see, man. We'll see. Like I say, if the Pelicans lose the game, then we know that they're quit on their coach. If not, then we'll see. But I'm with you on that. It's tough to put money on them. What you got to say, Jordan, before we get to the next ones?
Yeah, I was the same way. I'm leaning towards the Pistons if I have to break the tie. But I'm just going to say this about the Pelicans to maybe talk you off the ledge here just a second, Jay. I think David Griffin and this Pelicans crew.
Go ahead.
I'm talking you off the ledge right now, man. This Pelicans team is playing some three-dimensional tanking chess right now. They knew going in, once Zion Williamson hurt himself in the summer league, they were like, oh man, we got to pull a page out of Sam Hinkie's book and redshirt this guy, and we're going to pretend like he's got a chance to play the whole year. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to be like, oh, he doesn't have a timeline. We're going to play it safe and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they're trying to parlay the number 1 pick after losing AD into another high lottery pick this year. They knew going in they were not going to make the playoffs. At least it was going to be very, very hard to even getting the 8th seed in the Western Conference would have been extremely difficult. With all the injuries they've had, Derek Favors missing time for personal reasons, the playbook is there for them not trying to not win games. Whereas the Pistons Pistons are still actually trying to win the games. This is the type of year. This is the time of year where this stuff starts to become more prevalent. I don't think New Orleans has any interest in winning games the rest of the year. I think they're going to hold Zion out as long as possible until the league basically is knocking on their door saying, hey, we know he's healthy. You better get his ass out there. I know you're trying to tank. Like, they're just trying to get another high lottery pick this year. And I think they're using these games now as an excuse of saying, oh, we're super hurt. We're going to hold Zion out. You know, we're going to play 10, 11 guys deep every night and not really push our this is the type of spot, like you said, it could definitely be a bounce back for them, but could be once again where they let down after continuously letting down all year because they're not actually trying to win games. Also, because Alvin Gentry is not a good coach, they're going to keep him on as long as possible here because they're actually not trying to win games. That's my theory on New Orleans. I wouldn't even see it near a mile near New Orleans -1 tonight. That's just all I'm saying. I don't think I can trust the Pistons either, but I definitely lean towards them if I had to make a play.
Exactly. Hey, my first thoughts was Pistons, but no, after looking deeper into it, it's Pelicans or nothing for me. I do think it's too early in the season to tank. It's only a quarter through the season.
It's never too early to tank, Jay.
Right now, they're sitting in last in the Western Conference, bro. You can win these games and still be tanking. Like, even if you are tanking, you win this game, oh, what? Oh, wow, we still got the worst record in the Western Conference. Still got the whole year to tank, bro. We'll see. Like I say, I'm not making it big of an argument for the Pelicans. I don't have money on it, but don't be a bit surprised to see them win tonight and bounce back off damn near a 50-point loss. They damn near beat OKC twice if they're tanking. Damn near beat the Suns at the house if they're tanking. This is a winnable game for them. Let's get to this next game, man. Let's get into the. Let me see. I don't have nothing to say about that one. I want to get into the last spot that I have something strongly to say. I'm liking the Timberwolves tonight. They found a real tricky stat here, man. Road dogs off of 3+ away loss, 3 or more away losses on the road trip. Plus they on the back-to-back. They're 22-3 ATS, man. I gotta fucking take it. I got to. You see it, all the money coming on the Suns. Move down to 3.5. I put a little. I sprinkle a little bit. I ain't got my rings on today. I sprinkle a little bit of the Timberwolves on the money line. They lost 4 straight. This is the last game of a 4-game road trip. Revenge game J as well. It is a back-to-back from LA where they played well. AD just killed them in the paint. Went for 50. They were up at one point versus the Lakers. We're taking punches, giving punches back to them. The Suns are 0-8 last 3 seasons at home after a 4-game road trip. Give me the Timberwolves in this spot. You can't ignore those trends. What you got, Junior?
I liked Karl Anthony Towns to bounce back. AD sunned him real good last night. He kind of always, they got that Kentucky thing. They play against each other in the offseason and all that. But he owns Karl Anthony Towns. I expect Karl Anthony Towns to come out and have a big game tonight. And the reality is this: the Suns were making, their little push at the beginning of the season where we thought it was different because they were playing defense, and they're just not playing defense right now. Their defense has fallen off a cliff. That's why their results are just so inconsistent. And until they start playing defense again, first of all, who's stopping Karl Anthony Towns on their squad? And I know it's just not that simple, but I just like to look at matchups. They got guys that can match up with Andrew Wiggins. That's no doubt because they got some good wings. They have nobody that could deal with the Karl Anthony Towns and him coming off of a horrible game. You think Frank Kaminsky's going to slow him down? I don't. I would take the points with the Timberwolves, to be honest. I'm not touching this game, but if I was, I would be taking points with the Wolves.
Exactly, and Baines is questionable. He will be on a minutes limit if he does play. He's been out for a while. I'm not really worried about it. Like I say, it's a revenge spot, man. Give me the Timberwolves. They actually play better on the road. Like I say, lost their 3 straight road games. This is the last one. We saw the Warriors going to win their last game on their road trip. I gotta say, I got some shit to say about that game too. What you got on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I'll be quick so we can finish it up here. I would lean towards the Wolves too, but I think the Baines, if he does come back tonight, I think that's a stay away for me. He's actually a pretty good defender. He obviously, like you said, he won't play a ton of minutes tonight even if he does play, but they got some guys that can throw at Towns. They're not going to stop him, but if they're successful enough at stopping everybody else, they could definitely win the game. I don't know if they're going to cover though. I think 3.5, even with the Wolves on the bad timing here, the back-to-back, still a little bit too many points because just like Junior said, I mean, this Suns team was an aberration at the beginning of the season. We thought they were for real. They've completely collapsed defensively, so you definitely can't trust them here, especially at 3.5 points. So I think the side is the Wolves or nothing for me.
Exactly. Regression to the mean. The Suns are not
Hmm.
looking like the same team. And I'm gonna repeat the stats one more time for you guys. Just one more time. 0-8. The Suns 0-8. Last 8 games at home after a 4-game road trip. That first game back. It's always a sleepy spot. Road dogs off 3 or more away losses in a row, obviously. Plus on the back to back, they're 22-3 ATS. That fits the bill for the Timberwolves. Gonna be a bit surprised to see them cash that money line plus 145. Last thing I got to say, Warriors -3 tonight. Versus the Grizzlies. Grizzlies gonna have Ja Morant come back. Pretty sure he's gonna be announced in. Down from Warriors -4 to -3. They beat the Grizzlies already 114-95 in Memphis. They didn't have Russell in that game. Now they got Russell and they didn't have Russell or Looney in that game. Now they got them back. They starting to get some players back, bro. They off 4-game road trip. They went 1-4. They only had 2 home games in these last 10 games. It was 8 road games, so they should be happy to get back here to the house. The last time they was at the house, they beat the Bulls. Last time it was on the road, they beat the Bulls as well. They held the Bulls to 90 points last time at the house. Levine had 36 and still held them to 90 points. You see the Grizzlies, man, they 1-9 last 10 games straight up, average only 105.6 points per game on the road, give up 116. I think this is a sneaky little spot, man, for the Warriors to get if they're not tanking, Jordan. I think this is a nice little spot for the Warriors at the house to get a win at the Chase Center where they hadn't got too many of them. I think they're 2-7 at the house. I think this is a winnable game for them. They got Kyle Anderson still out, Clark still out. They're banged up. The Grizzlies better at the house. Warriors went and gave the business over there. Everybody thought the Grizzlies was favored by 6. I think this is another Warrior spot, man, -3. What you thinking, Jordan?
Yeah, I would prefer the Warriors in this one. I think it's a stay away for me, but I definitely agree with you that the Warriors are getting healthier. They're getting Damian Lee back tonight. Could be getting Jacob Evans tonight. Their guard depth is starting to fill out. Obviously, they're still missing their top 2 guards and will probably be for the most of the season because they will eventually start tanking for real. But I think as of now, yeah, they're right now as deep and better than the Grizzlies. I think with their Grizzlies missing their guys tonight. Kyle Anderson's still going to be out. Brandon Clark has been huge for them. The rookie big man. Without him, they have almost zero front court depth behind their 2 starters at that position. So I could easily see Golden State coming in here just jacking up a bunch of threes. That's why I'm leaning towards the over. If both teams are shooting a ton of threes, this already steamed up 2.5 points. That's the one line I might be interested in jumping on, though, because I could definitely see the Warriors putting up a ton of points tonight. And the Grizzlies, like I said, very little defense, and their second unit is going to get absolutely torched tonight. So probably lean towards the Warriors. I think the over would probably be a better play, though, if I had to make one on this game.
Yeah, and we know that the Grizzlies play super fast, man.
Yeah.
Firewall should have stayed off that one versus the Jazz. I just thought it was a bad spot for them, but they play super fast. I'm not taking any unders in Grizzly games, man. I like the Warriors here. What you thinking, Jordan? Junior, my bad.
All good, bro. I'm gonna stay away from this for one specific reason. The Warriors are not scoring points like they were at the beginning of the season, and I looked at it like like we all do. We try to look at the last 5 games. Now they've only scored like 96 points a game in the last 5 games, but those are all road games, right? So I went back to their home games. So this is the last couple of home games. They scored 104 against the Bulls, 97 against Oklahoma City, 100. 108. I know, again, they're playing some tough teams, but they're not scoring as many points as they were in the beginning of the season. If they're not really scoring points, I think that means that anybody could really hang around against them. You guys know the first home game after a long road trip is usually a letdown spot anyways. I can't possibly, take points with the Grizzlies right now after saying all that, so it's just kind of a stay away for me.
Exactly. And Junior, let me see. I had lost my train of thought there 1 second. Russell was out a lot of those games. That's why I like looking at stats and I dig deep into them, but I'm a big fan of looking at the stats like when, what I'm saying, on the off the court, stuff like that. But as far as like full game stats and there's certain injuries in there, they can be a bit skewed, So, and like I said, I just think with their full lineup with Looney, Russell back, Willie Cauley-Stein, they started. At first they didn't have no bigs, starting to get their bigs back. They got their point guard back. They made some other players step up, like Burks. He woke up and played like he could actually play. Pascal gonna always bring the energy every day. I love the way Pascal play. I want to go hoop with him. So I love the energy that he plays with, man. That's how I play. Off both ends of the court, man. I fucking love it. Y'all know know what's up, man. I'm liking the Warriors tonight, man. Liking the Rockets. I did take the Warriors -3. I had took the Rockets yet. I still like them. Leaning towards the under there, first half and full game with my guy Jordan. I'm leaning that first quarter under with Raptors and Bulls in the full game under. Didn't take it. I did take the Pacers at +1, and I'm on the Timberwolves, man, +4 and the money line. Still like it at +3.5. Y'all know what's up, man. We're gonna try to cash some tickets. Y'all go and follow us on Twitter. Lete, Los Bookmakers.